What's going on? What's going on? This video gonna be about when I do sometimes I do the matchups of like the teams that were runner up and how they would have fared if there was a championship with the next one. Well, this one is gonna be the Washington then Redskins as Commanders of 83 against the Miami Dolphins who won in 84 with Joe Theismann who was MVP and Dan Marino was MVP and they both were 14-2. So it's gonna Joe Gibbs, Don Shula. Now, ironic thing, Washington beat Miami 82, where David Woodley was the backup that led Miami. But this in the full year of Dan Marino, who 84 being MVP, Joe Theismann was an MVP. So this was going to be a battle of two 14-2 teams back to back that lost in the Super Bowls, runner ups, who had high potent offenses, but ironically got blown out in the Super Bowl. Washington lost to the Raiders, and of course, Miami lost to the 49ers. So, which team would have won out these two? It's interesting, compelling, because the Hogs were dominant on offense. I mean, Theismann was rolling, Mark Mosley was kicking them field goals, John Riggins was running over everything. Their defense with Dexter Manley, Dale Green, they looked like they were on track. They were going back to back. They looked like they had figured it out, like they were about to do the thing, and they looked very powerful, potent, etc., until they went into that buzzsaw that was called the Raiders. Now I'll tell you a story. Back in the day, I used to always win these Super Bowls for picking the right team. For the most part, I got them right. And I knew that Washington was going to beat Miami, but I didn't like their chances against the Raiders. Jim Plunkett just had this kind of aura about him, and I like Marcus Allen a whole lot. So just had a feeling that wasn't going to end well. So that one, Washington got smashed 38-9. And that looked like a very dominant team, but they got exposed badly against the Raiders. They got beat on the line. Ironically, just got beat up. Now we get to Miami, who happened to get housed by the 49ers. I think it's 38-16. And ironic, Joe Montana, Roger Craig and them tore that butt up, running a lot. And it was the mighty Dolphins with the Marks brothers, and that's all you ever heard about with all that high potent offense with Don Shula had and all that. So which team out of Washington and Miami, the back-to-back runner-up teams, do I think would have won if those two teams play with their 14-2 records? Because ironically, they both came back and retooled. Washington, I think, would have won with the line. I think Miami's defense was nice. AJ Dewey and them guys was their defense was on point. But Miami never had a running game. All due respect to Tony Nathan and I think Andre Franklin, they didn't have a potent running game. And Washington would wear you down. You know, Riggins was just a matter of time. He'd go off and just wear your butt down. So I think that Washington would have been more of a problem if those two teams had to play for the Super Bowl. This is all hyperbole. These are just kind of questions get asked. Two runner-up teams who happen to have similar records, high potent offenses, and they are a year removed as runner-ups. But how would they fare? They fared each other. I think Washington probably would have won. They figured out a way against Shula, and with Marino, I think they would have figured out a way. Now, ironically, this is a trip-out story. Theismann had won one when they beat Miami, and they lost the one to the Raiders. But Marino never got back to another Super Bowl again. He did go to AFC Championship games, but he never got to a Super Bowl. So never say that you're going to do it because you never know. And as great as Dan Marino is, and he's considered the greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl too, by the way, still on that. So anyway, let me know who you think out the two runner-up teams in the 80s out of Washington, 83, Miami 84. Which of those NFL teams do you think would have won if there was a runner-up Super Bowl? Because they both had 14-2 records, compelling offenses, good defenses, but they just went against a buzzsaw in the Super Bowl. Please hit like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like. Hit that membership because when you do, requests like this come true. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.